Welcome back to the Jesse Rucinski Show. Happy Friday to all of you. Hopefully, you got some good plans, or you can at least enjoy it, depending on where you are, the weather, work schedules, all that. But hopefully, everyone has a good weekend. And today, we're bringing back the best of the rest. Haven't done one in a while, but there was just a bunch of little, just stupid things here, and I mean, there are some big things in there too, but a lot of stuff that I figured wasn't worth wasting an actual whole episode on, but I could give it the time of day and do one of these, bring back a blast from the past. It's been far too long. I love doing these things, but there's been much more important things going on. So figured I'd change it up though this week. There's a lot to talk about, everything going on with Disney and like they made their bed. They've been in trouble for a while, but they made their bet on that one. CNN Plus, I still have no idea who was the genius that actually thought that was even like a feasible idea or a good idea or anything. Just with how their ratings have been, I physically cannot fathom how they thought that was a good idea. Like I still right now I'm having a hard time grasping who actually said, yeah, let's do that, because they're dumb. Thing with Kim Kardashian, if you didn't hear about that, I'm just, I got some questions about that one that are, much worse than you know, her son seeing a pop up about it. Like, that's just weird at his age. Anyway, of that. And then forgiving student loans for, 40,000 more people and providing aid to 3.6 million more and counting. And this is just this year on top of what they did last year. I have those numbers. And I think it's a slap in the teeth to everyone that actually worked hard and paid everything off, et cetera. There's a lot of things in that, but that's the big dumb one. I have my feelings on it, and you can all probably imagine what those feelings are if you've listened, because we all know how I feel about a lot of this stuff. But there's nothing you could do about it, sadly. Just the way it is. But I'll get my opinions on that when we get to it. So first, I want to start off with Disney making their bed, and they have to lie in it now. Like, it's too late now. Like, they put foot, insulted. No, they insulted a lot of people, but what I was trying to say was they inserted their foot way deep down into their mouth. And I mean, it's a really dumb thing because, I mean, Disney Plus is losing money. I know that their stocks are down over 30% just from last year, which, isn't good. And they just keep doing everything they can to piss people off. And this time they made their stand on the alleged "Don't Say Gay" bill in Florida, which I might add, they don't even, say anything about that in there. So, but of course, there they are trying to just push woke ideology. And I'm sure Walt's like rolling over in his grave now with how bad everything's turned, and a lot of their stars, see what happens there. I mean, but I did see people calling Ron DeSantis a fascist dictator, for what he's said, and getting, the state Senate passed to take away their special privilege, where they're self-policing, self-everything, because they put their foot in their mouth. I just love that people on the left are calling him a fascist dictator because, they open their mouth and then he's all, okay, really, watch this, because they don't have values. They don't have good values. They don't have anything. Their moral compass is dead, been for a while. But people call him that. Like, you do realize the people that they all support were all, the left's, mask mandates for workers, for children, for, you can't go to school, you can't do this, that, or the other thing if you don't get it, if you're not vaxxed. All the shutdowns, like people that actually controlled their whole lives in a lot of states and got it really stupid. And they're calling him a fascist dictator because he took a stand against something that Disney said, which, I'm sorry, Disney's in the wrong in this one. I really don't care what you try to tell me. Yeah, you're just wrong. I'm going to leave it there. And also, like, what is wrong with making it so teachers can't talk to 5 to 8-year-olds about sex, anything? Like, why should they be talking to them at all about, sex or gender or anything like that? Like, where the hell did teachers get the right to do that? That should be a parent thing. It's always been a parent thing. If you have a problem with them making a bill so they can't do that, like, you're actually like sick in the head. And you probably shouldn't be around children if you think it's okay for teachers, if you're offended because they made it so teachers can't talk to 5 to 8 year olds about sex, anything. Like, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be near a school or children if that's like your mindset and you really are just, excuse me, all up in the Kool-Aid. Like, that's really like, there's nothing like, what's wrong with making it so that's still a parental thing and not 5 year olds getting talked to about gender transitioning, like all these things. Like, they shouldn't be talking about that. Like, we should actually be teaching them things that they actually need in life and not worrying about all the stupid stuff, which is our ratings in the world. School-wise, education just continues to get worse because they don't care about actually teaching kids anything. They're trying to teach them about stuff like this, and they keep talking about, the suicide rate. LGBT community for young people keeps going up. Well, you guys are confusing them in the most confusing time of their life and bringing up all this, which just puts extra, dumb in the stuff, which is why they're going up, and just adolescence in general is going up because it's already the most confusing time of their life, and then you're throwing that in there, and if they're not a certain way, they feel wrong. Like, it confuses the whole entire thing. And I'm sorry, you shouldn't be near kids if you think you should talk to them about that and you actually are a scumbag. Like, you're some kind of wrong. And I really, again, I've said it how many times now, but I don't care like that. If you are against that, I mean, I'm not even sorry for you. Like, you're actually broken, like broken, because you shouldn't be talking about that in the first place. Like, we should supposed to be educating them, not pushing all this woke stuff, not teaching them about sex and all that. Like, teach them math, reading, science, things that you actually need in life, not throwing more idiocy in there. I'm quite all right with them stripping of their special privilege. Like, you're going to be pushing all that stuff and taking stands here when you're getting all this special privilege from, the state when it comes to tax breaks or anything. Like, they're helping you out that much. But if you're going to go that full woke out in public, I mean, especially with Disney, look at all the things we've heard from all kinds of, child stars from there, all the abuse and like everything else they get. Like, happiest place on earth, my ass. You're all scumbags. So that's what you get. And again, stocks are down 33% from last year. Like, it just keeps getting worse. You have to keep putting their foot in their mouth more, no matter how many scandals or anything. They can't help themselves. So good on Ron DeSantis, and stop teaching 5 year olds about sex. Like, you shouldn't have a problem with someone telling you can't do that. There shouldn't have to be a law for you to not do that. Just throwing it out there. CNN Plus, another good one. Which really actually makes me smile. And if you're on the Facebook page, you saw me share it out. But like, who in their right mind, or their wrong mind, because they weren't in their right mind, made the decision that they should make a streaming app and pay, put millions into it and get all these people to be on there to do it in the first place? Because their ratings have been terrible for years and keep getting worse. Like, when you're barely at 250,000 viewers, like some stuff, like, you shouldn't be putting millions into making anything. Like, you should actually make your product better so people want to watch it, not put millions into an app and then close it down a month into it because you're having a hard time getting 10,000, a day people, actually on it. I know you didn't get your money back that you put into it. And again, who actually thought that was like, who thought that was a good idea? Like, again, they shot themselves in the foot through all the stuff they spread, all the lies that they legit did that have been fact checked, and they just move on. And people see that, and people are over it. And the ratings, abysmal. I've gone over them before, and they keep getting worse, but yet they thought this was good. So I'm happy they lost their millions, because if you actually think this was a good idea, there's something wrong with you in between your ears. Apparently, you're not, just because other people have it, that's because those networks have this thing called viewers. People watch their network, which is why they have a streaming service to put all their stuff on too and catch up on it anytime, because they have viewers. If you're not averaging like 250,000, I mean, why in the blue? Like, if you're having a hard time getting like 1 million people, 500,000, like all that, why the hell would you do that? Like, so good on them. They made their bed a long time ago. Now they just keep burying themselves farther. So whatever. Not any sleep lost to, lost sleep for me. But I mean, we've gone over the numbers. You can look at the numbers for the ratings. Who actually thought that was a good idea? Like, what sorry, stupid SOB did that? Hopefully they get fired. That was just, I still don't understand how they're paying people as much as they do their anchors, because they don't have anyone watching. But It's mesmerizing, and good on them for being proving that they actually physically are just that stupid. That's what this decision proved. So there's a pat on the back for me to you. Good on you for proving everything we've all said about people and the brains at that network and how far it has fallen through the years. Which gets me to another story, which I mean leads to one really big question, but I don't know if anyone heard about it. Kim Kardashian, like her 6-year-old son, 8-year-old son, whatever, I think it's 6, like was on the internet and saw a pop-up for like extra footage that wasn't released before for her sex tape from all those years ago. And she was like, and she's now come out and said that she's fine with it and all that, changed her story. But never mind that. What the hell was your 6 or 8-year-old? Again, I think it was 6, but what the hell are they doing anywhere near anything that would give them a pop-up for that? And this little camera right here, and this little thing that you don't see, this computer, like, as you can imagine, between typing everything, researching stuff, printing stuff, recording stuff, uploading stuff across all kinds of stuff, and the videos take, depending on how good the day is, a while to get on there. But like, and I don't get any like pop-ups at all. What in the hell was your 6-year-old doing where he was getting porn pop-ups? Like, that's a legitimate question. That's really like, what in the actual fire truck is someone that small anywhere near the internet where they would get pop-ups about sex tapes? Just saying, like, we all know the morals of them. Like, we we all get that. Excuse me again. Throat's all screwy. But what were they actually like? What was your kid doing that age there? I mean, granted, I imagine what they're exposed to and all that. And they're pushing all this crazy. Yeah, it's just, what the hell? Like, if someone, please, listening to this, like, comment on it. Let me know if you could find a good reason. You can give me the wrong answers only. Because that actually sounds like more fun, because we can all pretty much, we're smart enough. We put 2 and 2 together, it creates 4. And we know exactly why you'd be getting pop-ups like that. So what in the bluest of, like, that should be the big one that everyone should be asking. Everyone holds the Kardashian so highly, which is why their show lasted 7,000 years longer than it should have. What the hell is your kid doing to do that? Like, that's just mesmerizing, tantalizing, terrifying, ridiculous, and kind of scummy. But that's for everyone else to figure out. That was the big thing I took away from that. Like, I was like, man, I'm like, what the hell is your 6-year-old doing on stuff like that? That's the big one. Like, that's freaky. Like, that should not happen. So good on them for proving my point about what I thought about all the morally and all that. Like, good on you. I don't even get stuff. I never even got pop-ups like that when I was a dirty human being. So back when software wasn't as great to keep stuff, all viruses and pop-ups and all that from happening, like, I still wasn't getting any. So good on you. Which brings me to the big one, which is the one that pisses me off. It is them forgiving all that student loan debt, because the Fed already paid for it. Now you're forgiving it, so you pretty much, might as well. There's more money to add to all this inflation problem. But I mean, really, to me, it's a slap in the face to everyone that actually, all the adults that actually busted their ass to, in college to get good jobs to pay off their student loans. Like, they actually like did the really hard work to make sure that they could do that, and they had to pay it back. They had to do that, figuring out, rent, mortgages, like carpet, like they had to do that, figured out all of it. Granted, is the price of it like ridiculous? Yes. Should some, like, do you need that much, cost that much? No, not at all. But it's still a slap in the face that everyone that paid it back and did the right thing. And it's a slap in the face to everyone that earned it, through scholarships, earned a free education because they busted their tail. And now all these people that they're just getting it for free. Here you go. Or the military, like, I should get my GI Bill back then. Their student loan debt's forgiven, so they can go and do it again if they want to go back to school. Like, I should get my GI Bill back. And everyone should use it. My running theory. Like, hell, how about this one? Crazy one. I know it's another 30-year, plan here. How about those of us that like have a mortgage? Why? Because I signed the paperwork knowing what I was getting into and the payments I'd have to make and all, the debt that would be there. And there's no upside of getting a great career of just owning a house. where you could go and pay it back and make great earnings for that. Like there's none of that. This is just like, I mean, I can make money when I sell it, but I signed off on it. I knew what I was getting into. Maybe they start paying off my mortgage. That'd be cool. There's an idea. Pay off my house for me. Let me keep it. As you give away student loan debt to people, just saying. Think about it. Same thing. When I signed off on it, I knew what I was getting into. And guess what? They're going to make me pay back every penny of the loan I took out, which thankfully, at least I refinanced right before Joe took office. I'm like, what? I've seen this before. I know what happens. I remember when it crashed there. The market just completely imploded the last time Joe was in anything. So I went and did that. But I mean, it's the same thing. I signed off on it. I know what I was getting into. It's a very long loan. It takes up a lot of money. You don't see them jumping to pay off any of that. But they're going to, just because you got an idiotic degree in something that you can never make a career out of, that's not on us. People that paid back their student loans should now be watching, that go against our debt because they're never getting the money back. So they're technically paying it twice. And, it's good more money that we're not getting, which is, more debt to add into the expenditures, which then will raise inflation more. But, they canceled student loan debt for at least, which means probably way higher. And this is just what they're reporting. 40,000 people and offered credits, 3.6 million more to help pay off their loans. Some of it was extending it out for like 3 years at the time, which, could lower payments and make it easier. And, like, I'm okay with, give them more time. As long as they pay it back, I'm okay with that. There's people like Drew that went and got their CDL and didn't pay a dime back to, the school that, did it to them, but they sure as hell have their CDL. There's a lot of people like that. I'm sorry, well, you took the thing out. It's side Drew's on too, but you took it out, like you signed it. You said you agreed to everything. You knew what you were getting into. It shouldn't be on everyone else to have to pick up your slack because you suck. And some 43.4 million borrowers have about 1.6 trillion in debt, which averages about 37K per person. I know how much just, my ex-wife, I know how much she got when she went to Miller Mott and all that. And that's just what you do. I know what I would have got if I didn't have the GI Bill. That's what I served. I'll never run ever again. Every day sucks. Migraine, sleeping pills, all kinds of stuff. I earned mine, and I paid in. So I should get, it back. And it's just going to make everything, so much worse when we're already screwed. And don't forget, last year, if you didn't pay attention the first year, they canceled over $17 billion in debt for 725,000 people. And for student loan debt that they already covered off. Like, we're spending money hand over fist, canceling all this stuff while we're doing everything else that I've talked about all week, to include Wednesday with Walter, all the time. Like, which is just going to add to the inflation problem because it's more money going on to like the debt and stuff, and money that they're never getting back. So technically, I mean, again, Fed gave out the money in the loans. Now they're forgiving them, which means, well, the American people are going to be the ones paying all of that back again. Because heaven forbid we could just, I don't know, treat the generation of pussies behind me like adults and make them, be responsible for anything and pay anything back. And it's amazing though that, they do it now. Like, it's very, very convenient that they keep doing it. And, that's really my big problem, closing this, bad boy out. The Disney thing, whatever, like, it's just coming to light how scummy they are now. Like, a lot of us have known a lot of things, and all the kiddie porn rings and all that stuff. Like, we all knew about it. It's been there forever, and they made their bed. Kim Kardashian, it's kind of just funny. CNN Plus is, well, it's funny and disgusting. CNN Plus, that's hilarious. Like, because again, who the hell thought that was a good idea? But it's amazing how, they said they're going to do it. And now we're this close to midterms. His approval rating is tanking, even with, crazy liberal network polls are saying that he absolutely sucks. And they do this, even though young people are really, we're all screwed. And, those people are supposed to be lower income because they're just starting out and all that. Like, they're really screwed. But like right around midterm, and that's a convenient way to help out, 40,000 people plus, 3.6 million, giving them help. It's going to make them want to vote for you just a little bit more when you make their life that much easier right before the midterms, when the primaries are, starting here very shortly. Like I find that to be very conveniently timed, and they do stuff like this all the time. So no, I'm not surprised by the convenience and timing. Don't ever like mistake it for that. It's just funny when you think about that they finally do it now. You know, they always seem to do all kinds of stuff. And just like the polling and all that was tanking for Title 42, they're trying to find ways to, extend it. If they, will they? Who knows? But at least it's just rumors, excuse me, that they are. All this stuff coming up right by the midterms. Like, I just don't like it, but it's what they always do. It's a way to try to get, people that they're losing, because they're losing a lot of people, because, he said he was going to be a moderate and he's running like crazy progressive, like we all said he was going to be. Mostly progressive policies, like everything. Like, this is a good way to try to, give them a bump, even though gas prices are way back up. I remember what, maybe Wednesday night, Tuesday night. I think I mentioned it on the show with Walter. I might not have, that just in between the time Hannah went with her coworker to do trivia at the Angry Ginger. That's the pub, not my ex-wife. But the amount of time she was gone before she came back, it jumped 34 cents. Like, there's stuff like that that's happening. Again, the border numbers are still, he's setting record after record after record. Like, you can't deny crime and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of bad things going on. So I just find this to be, convenient timing for it. Will it help? I mean, I surely don't think so, because, excuse me, because there's a lot of bad going on. Let's see if this helps. Let me take a drink. Maybe. I don't know, give it about 3 seconds, but it's just convenient timing, and it's what they do. But everything bad happening, you can blame it on whoever you want. It's all on them. And hopefully the midterms prove that and show that, because they can try to deny it all they want, but anyone with the brain can look at all this and see all the stuff where it's just started imploding. And like Afghanistan, like we went over Afghanistan, brought on all of this. It's very obvious. So we can only hope that people see it. If they don't, guess what? There really is a generation of dumbasses behind us. And if you're older, there's generations of dumbasses behind you, but we haven't been this bad. Like, they're bringing a whole new level right now. And because of my voice, that's where I'm going to cut it off just so I stop coughing. I never once, funny, I made it through the racing show with Walter. I think, like, coughed once. It went way longer than where I'm at right now. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And again, people on Good Pods, thank you for, listening on there. Please feel free to keep watching it there and tell more people about it. Share it out. Follow along on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your preferred is, because I can keep track of that easier. It helps me out with the sponsors. I mean, they don't pay me pretty much anything, but every listen does help with that. So I appreciate all of it, no matter where you are, though. At least you're listening. Please feel free to subscribe to all of them. Videos are on YouTube, Rumble, Cloud Hub. They're all over. And then the audio, again, it's literally 13 places. Tune-ins on there now. I put it on Good Pods. That doesn't pop up on my Anchor site, but as a listen for getting, my several, my 1 cent, but it's still there. And I don't care, wherever you're listening, thank you, and share it out. Just keep it growing. Don't forget, comment on them, like them, especially on the videos, and rate them. If you rate the episode, it helps get more people to see it, which really, the easier it is for people to find it, the better it is for all of us. If you ever want to come on, please feel free to let me know. I haven't done a Sunday sit down in a while. You can always join me and Walter. You can do a normal Tuesday or Friday with me. We can just sit there and just talk about whatever you want. I'm always open to have a conversation, as long as you're not absolutely crazy, because I'm really just not in the mood. I just don't want to have screaming matches anymore. There's some people I have no problem having screaming matches with, but I really just don't want to have them. I'd like to have good, like we used to have, good, back and forth conversations, whether or not we agreed on everything. Like, we could still handle it like adults, which a lot of people seem to have lost, because no matter what you mention, I mean, everyone over there, like on that side, just immediately goes to crazy personal attacks, because they actually have lost all sense and they have no arguments that are real. So they just attack you personally. Sucks to be them. They're that ignorant. They say ignorance is bliss. Whoever came up with that one, apparently these guys missed it. But yeah, thank you for all the support. Keep it up. Follow along. All you have to do is follow at least on them. Get my subscribers up across the board, because that helps immensely. It only takes a few seconds, but Enjoy your weekend. Be good to each other. I'll be back on Tuesday unless something stupid happens. And until then, my friends, enjoy your weekend and peace.